One. Aloha and namaste. I'm Satyam, resident Acharya here at Konalani Yoga Ashram on the Big Island of Hawaii, offering yoga and meditation teacher trainings all year round. Got the Pacific Ocean behind me, the majestic Bodhi tree, and the fabulous yoga tent. We're gonna have a great yoga class today. The class today is gonna actually be based on a little bit of the diagonal lines of your fascial chain, creating spiraling movements instead of just your plain old twist. And what's interesting about these spiraling movements is that they're going to really require a little moment internal work before you move. When I say lift your opposite hand and foot, there's sort of a moment when you have to check in with yourself before you move. And that's really good for your brain, and it means you're breaking up crystallization of the body. Now, to support this with a little bit of philosophy, we actually happen to be studying a Shiva Sutra this month in our philosophy class here at the ashram that really coincides well with this concept. I think if you give me about 3 minutes of your time, it'll really take your yoga practice up a notch and deepen it, and then we'll get right into the movements, all right? I'm going to share a few slides with you to sort of illustrate some of these concepts. All right, so the sutra this month that we're talking about is Prayatana Sadhaka. Prayatana Sadhaka. This is Sutra 2.2 of the Shiva Sutras, a 1,000-year-old text. Prayatana means pauseless effort. And this pauseless effort brings about attainment, of God consciousness, brings about spiritual growth in your practice. So when you really apply yourself pauselessly to your practice, you grow. You've probably seen that in a lot of facets of your life, especially in yoga and meditation. Now, one way that we can explore this today in our yoga class and in your daily life is through a concept that Swami Lakshmanjoo talked about in his interpretation of the sutra. And he was talking about reflective movement. Reflective movement actually is a Sanskrit term, Anusamdhitsa. We're going to come back to that in a second. But reflective movement can be particularly helpful in exploring this pauseless effort that brings attainment, because moving is something we're doing all day, every day. Okay, on a good day, we're moving all day, every day, right? On most days, our watch or our phone might say something a little different, especially when it starts telling you, hey, get moving. Okay, but in any case, when we are moving, on those good days, when we are moving, one thing is interestingly for sure. You're either moving towards something you want, or you're moving away from something you don't want. Does that remind you of anything? Exactly. Black Friday, the salad spinner, 70% off. You're like, I gotta have it. And then you see the crowds at Black Friday and you're like, oh my God, it's not worth it. And you're running away, you know? But seriously, accepting and rejecting, the push and the pull, these concepts are what the Shiva Sutras keep telling us lead to suffering. When our awareness gets drawn outside of us, either reaching for something we want or pushing away something we don't want, our lives get very accepty and rejecty. Accepty and reject. One makes you spun out, the other's just lame. Accepty and reject, reject. But seriously, it really does get that way. We call this crystallization. If you were to look at it in terms of your physical body, you'd see that there are parts of your fascia that literally dry up and crystallize, preventing movement. Well, your mind is very similar too. Your mind can also crystallize, creating patterns of thought. And so when we start bringing more awareness to our movements through this reflective movement, it starts to really pull our attention in. And it starts to break up that crystallization just through our awareness. So let's look at the Sanskrit word that I was talking about, Anusamdhitsa. Swami Lakshmanjoo writes, in Sanskrit, this state is called an Anusamdhitsa. By holding the very beginning of that movement, the goal of uniting the seeker of God consciousness with the God consciousness he or she seeks is achieved. So by holding the beginning of a movement, before you move, he's saying you become united with that which you seek. Interesting, right? Because when we are moving towards something we want, we will definitely not usually take that very first moment to stop. We will just retreat, because when I want what I want, it's out here, right? But he's saying, keep your attention inside while you move, and you will be united with what you're really seeking, that God consciousness. That's something we can bring to every yoga class, and I'll be cueing you to do that today for sure. To pause before you move in order to bring that awareness through the movement with you. Now, while you're in the middle of a movement, this awareness continues. You might ask yourself, how can I hold the beginning of a movement while I'm in the middle of a movement? Wouldn't that mean I can't move at all? I have to just hold that beginning? What is it, some kind of weird MC Escher psychedelic world where nothing gets done and I just walk in circles? No. It's very possible to hold the beginning while you move, and even finding yourself in the middle of the movement, through a very simple concept. And it is best illustrated by this Paul Reps poem. Paul Reps is a dear friend of Shambhavananda, the founder and the teacher of Shambhavananda Yoga, from which we teach. And so Paul Reps once wrote, "Slow motion cures commotion." He also interpreted this poem other times as "smooth motion cures commotion." So this will be our last thought for today. So when you're in the middle of a movement, whether in your yoga class or washing dishes, when you try to make those movements just a little slower than normal, 80% slower, or smoother than normal, you will be practicing prayatana, the pauseless reflective movement. And if you can sustain that type of reflection, it will guide you directly towards the sadhaka, the attainment that you're seeking. It's almost like right there in the moment you start trying it, you start attaining it and you feel it. You don't have to wait. So prayatana sadhaka, reflective movement, smooth moving, smooth motion. These things can really take our yoga practice way beyond our mat, into our hearts, into our energetic awareness. And that's where I invite you to start our class today. Just let one ear fall to one side of the body, rolling the head and allowing your body to use that momentum to let the movement travel through the spine and then let it return. Just let the movement start to unlock the shoulders and the neck. You can go back and forth with that movement, or if the neck allows it, you can make the full revolution. But just let the neck movement and the spinal movement start to work together, unlocking shoulders as you go. And then let the arms escape. Let them make some organic shapes here. Just letting the arms, the spine, the shoulder blades, and the neck communicate. Like you're waking up in the morning. Whatever feels right. Just get a few more breaths here. And then just pull it all back to center. Roll those shoulders back a little bit. All right, we're actually going to begin this class in table position. So from table, you can have the hands right under the shoulders. Again, it might be easier for you to have your mat facing the screen. You can figure that out as we go. And we're going to start right up with these diagonal lines. And so the diagonal lines start right away by attempting to just lift your left hand and your right knee at the same time, and then put them down. And then lift the right hand and the left knee, and then put it down. And just try that a couple of times. That could actually be pretty challenging. I totally get you. Then both hands come down. Tuck your toes under. And then lift the knees just a ½ inch off the floor. Take a slow breath in. And then release the knees down. Bow back to Bhaktasana for a moment. Turn the palms up. Flex the wrists inward. Rock a little side to side. Let your head relax on the mat. Unflex the wrists, palms down, float back up to table. All right, take a reflective breath here. Pull your attention in towards the heart. Go ahead and tuck the toes. Nice slow exhale. And with that attention in your heart, one more time, left hand, right knee. And then place it down. Right hand, left knee. And then place it down. Take another reflective breath into the heart. Hover knees off the floor. Keep your attention at the heart. Left hand, right foot and knee. And then other side. Right hand, left foot. And down. Good. One more time back to Bhaktasana. Turn the palms over. Flex the wrists in. Rock a little bit. Relax mat. Head to the forehead. Relax forehead to the mat. Unflex wrists. Palms back down. Floating back up to table. All right. Let's get started here with some movement. And so we'll begin by bringing the left arm forward and the right leg straight back. Alright, so from table position, bring your right arm forward and bring your left leg straight back. We'll draw that diagonal line across the body right away with these cheetah crunches. You're going to bring the right elbow to the left knee and then extending. And just draw that line a couple of times. Try to breathe as you move, but find your own rhythm. The next time the arm and leg extend out, reach, reach, reach. Let the hand float under the shoulder. You're going to drop the back foot to the mat. And then just sort of draw the left arm across the body into a supported side plank. And so this side plank, you can feel your arms reaching apart, heart opening upward, and just feel the length across the side of the body. Support from the leg underneath you. Returning that hand back to the mat. Sweep your left leg out to the side, and then you're going to turn the foot out, bending the knee. And so this takes a lot of the pressure out of the hips. You can keep that hand on the knee, your right hand will sweep up, and then just simply bending into the leg and exploring the right side of the body. Just bending into the leg and exploring the right side, keeping it nice and fluid. Next time you're in the stretch, just let that circle go a little slower. And then complete the circle, let your arm come down and forward. Same left leg is going to go forward in front of you. If you can, tucking the back toes is really helpful for unlocking the tightness in the posterior chain. Right hand is going to scoop the air up in front of you. And then you let that right hand just keep scooping and reaching back and just see where it goes behind you. Do that a couple of times, lengthening up as you scoop, and then letting that movement naturally guide you back. Maybe the fingertips sort of grace the middle of the thigh, or maybe the knee there, maybe for some of you the heel. And the next time the arm reaches up, slow that movement down and breathe as you move. Feel the movement, feel the breath, reflective movement, and just let that arm come all the way back and in. We're going to plant the hands down. This front left leg, it's actually going to go in front of the back leg. So we're in sort of a funny downward dog, almost like you're trying to not go to the bathroom. You're holding it. You're squeezing those legs together. The hands press, the feet press, the hips lift. Let the neck relax. Turn your head side to side. Another little cross here. From this position, dropping the knees down. And then we've got two options here. One is you can just glide the hips back and forth like this for a sort of a segue to Go Mukhasana, where you can feel the outside of your left hip get a nice stretch as you're going. You can keep doing that, or you can actually sit back on your back right heel. Fingertips are nice to support you here. Press down through those fingertips, lengthen up. All right, now from here, we can take this right elbow and just sort of reach across the body for a twist and then let it open us up. And just sort of reaching into that twist. You can feel that in the hip as you do it. And the next time you reach across, just take a moment and you're going to reach up as you twist, lengthening, and then slowly down. One forward fold here, just waving the spine forward, and slowly rounding your way up. Feel free to pause there if you like. One more wave. And from this wave, we'll walk our hands forward, back onto hands and knees, tuck toes, and then this will get interesting, okay? So tuck toes, and you're actually going to turn to your right so that your left hip sort of comes down towards the floor, and now you're sitting on your butt. I'll try that again in case you missed it. We had our legs crossed, and we just turned to the right, boom, and we find ourselves right here. And then we're falling through space. We're falling through space. This is just a modified version of boat pose, insofar as it gets you to activate the abdominals, but in a way that supports organic movement and realistic workings of the body. So try not to make your movements too predictable. And then you're going to slowly fall to the mat. Take a deep breath. Pull that awareness back in towards the heart. We usually think a lot of our movements have to come from our head, because the mind is associated with the processing power, right, of our body. But yoga can show you over and over again, you can relax that mind, you can bring it to your heart, all your awareness, and your body will really move itself. It takes very minimal direction from the mind. You can keep your awareness right here in the heart. So take a breath in as you draw the legs in towards you. And when the legs get sort of close, draw the heels in toward you, not any closer than your fingertips. You're just isometrically sort of pulling the mat toward you. Feel the backs of your legs. I bet those muscles are firing. And then from that position, just weightlessly lift your hips off the mat. Slowly lower those hips. Let the legs float up. And then here, resist the urge to make this some kind of intense workout. Instead, just reach the legs up and watch as you reach the legs forward. Watch as your body supports itself. Watch as the abdominals work. And then naturally the legs find the mat. You slide them back in. And then you sort of pause right here, right before your fingertips. And you just isometrically pull those heels in like you're trying to pull the mat. Activates underside of the legs. Lifting weightlessly your hips into a very supported Setubandha Sarvangasana. Roll your spine back down. Let the legs float up. Draw your focus to the heart here as the legs reach forward. Less processing power than you think. And we'll roll those legs in. From here, bring your right hand up. We'll do one little cross across the body. Right arm to left knee. And just do that one more time. Just keep drawing that diagonal. Good. And then that left leg can extend, and the right foot can actually push you over your body onto your belly. You'd probably be off your mat a little bit here. Nothing wrong with that. Now from this position, go ahead and lay your forehead on crossed hands. And then just practice lifting one leg at a time. And just watch as your body does the work. Watch as you don't have to tell any muscles to fire. You just have to focus on this reflective movement. Just watch and be a part of the process of moving. You don't always have to be the director. You can just be a part of the production. And slowly lower down. All right. From there, the left arm's going to extend forward, and our right hand's going to reach slightly back. And then lengthen your heart off the floor, bending the right leg behind you. See if you can reach for that right ankle. If it's not reachable, you can just sort of keep reaching like that, and you don't have to clasp it. If you can clasp it, that's fine too. Fingertips can be nice here. And then take your time with this. Press back through the leg, and notice that you can pull back on the leg simultaneously. And that will start to draw you up into this slight back bend. Similar to the back bend we were just in on our backs bridge, this is Bow, Dhanurasana. And so as you kick the leg and pull the leg simultaneously, those fingertips start to lift you up as well in the heart. reflective movement here in the middle of a pose. Feel what's happening. And then allow yourself to slowly lower down and just be a part of the lowering process. Just be there for it. And watch as it all works together. Hands are going to come under the shoulders. Press ourselves back to Bhaktasana for a breath. Just give that back a little breather. From Bhaktasana, kick down through your shins and ankles. That will round your spine up for the Halloween cat. And then from this position, from the cat position, you can actually just keep that going through the arms. And as soon as the heart reaches the arms, you just start to peel the heart up for a supported upward facing dog. Hands are pressing down naturally. The shoulders are just going down as the hands press down, and the heart is naturally lifting up. Slight smile here stretches a mile. It's just for you. And then pull your abdominals in to send yourself back. Feel how the abs, as they crunch, they just send your body back. And then here we are. We're going to take this moment here before getting back to our mat. I just want to lift your left hand and right knee. Good. Sit it down. Right hand and left knee. And sit it down. Take a reflective breath to your heart. Try and keep that attention in the heart. Left hand and right knee. Right hand and left knee. Good. Hover. Tuck your toes. Hover the knees for a moment. And then try to do that opposite hand and foot. And this is a tiger walk. You're welcome to walk a little bit around your room. Or you can just walk in place. We'll all make our way back to about the middle of our mat. Good. And from that tiger walk, just we'll relax down, back down. Flip the palms over. Flex the wrists in. One more breath in Bhaktasana. Rock a little bit. Extending the hands back out, floating up, back into table. All right, and let's try that. Let's balance it out. Let's try it on the other side. All right, so for this one, the left arm will lead the way. The right leg will reach back. And we draw that diagonal line from elbow to knee. Just do that a couple of times and see if you can use your breath to be a part of this movement. Be a part of the movement. Feel it happening. The next time the arm and leg reach out, keep reaching, reaching, reaching. Arm floats under shoulder, leg finds the floor behind you, peel right arm across the chest into side plank with the support of the bottom leg. Pause here in side plank and just feel the openness across the hips and the chest. It's a really liberating experience. The arm can come down, right leg slides out to the side. We turn the foot out, right, and we bend the knee. And then the left arm will draw some nice big circles. Here, back and forth. And just feel the experience of drawing the circle, letting your body move with you. Things are working together here. We're rewiring our muscular system and our nervous system here by just letting things start to move together in a fluid way with our breath. Slow down your last circle. And just enjoy that last circle, pausing wherever it feels productive. Turn your head a couple of times. Make sure there's no gripping in the neck. And then we'll slowly let the body turn down towards the floor, all the way back to our mat. That same leg goes forward. And then tucking the back toes under a little bit if that's possible for you. And we'll do some scoops. We're scooping with that left arm up, just seeing where the hand goes behind us. Just a nice scoop. And then seeing where it goes. It doesn't have to reach the heel. It doesn't have to reach the calf. Let's get out of that mindset. That's really not reflective movement. That's object-based movement. That's going to draw you out of yourself. Where are you reaching naturally? Where are you reaching? What's happening for you? Can't be, always looking outside of ourselves. We've got an experience happening right here. Let yourself slow down your last circle. Pause where it feels productive. That means you have to feel it and pay attention. And then we'll slowly let that arm release down, find the mat, and we go back into that downward dog where we're sort of holding it. Got the P-dog here, the legs crossed. It's sort of fun. You're pressing through the hands and feeling those hips lift up, feel that nice inversion. It's sort of refreshing. We just don't, can't find enough time in the day to do inversions, right? Awesome. And then from there, we'll lower the knees and we'll option to rock back and forth here, or continue doing that. Actually feels great, but continue that if you want, or sitting back on your left heel. From the left heel, we can just simply twist to our right a couple of times and just feel how the body has to work together here. And then after that twist, you can start to wave the spine. If you're rocking back and forth still, you might want to just try sitting on the heel and try a couple of spinal waves. Maybe the hips have loosened up. Otherwise, you can always pause wherever you're at and just try to find your spine. The next time you wave down, you're welcome to pause there. Find your breath again. It'll draw you right to your heart. From there, we actually will just shift our weight forward onto our knees and hands, tuck the toes under, and this time we're going to spin the other way. So we're going to spin to our left, and you'll find yourself sitting back down on your hips, and then we're falling through space. Falling through space. Try not to be too predictable here with your movement. That'll wake up new musculature. You can even reach up a little bit as you're going for the floor. Hands come down. Draw the heels in. When they get about to your fingertips, sort of pause right there. And then keep pulling the legs in. Activates the hamstrings. And that effortlessly will help you lift your hips. Hips come back down. The legs float up. And then, again, watch as the body engages. You're just applying the weight of your legs forward. Watch as it does the work. And then draw the legs in. 2 more of those. Pulling in on the legs to effortlessly lift your hips. Hips come down, and then gently reaching forward, and 1 more set. Finding the mat, rolling it in, and a couple of crunches the other way. We're going to bring the left arm to the right knee a couple of times, just drawing that diagonal. Good, and then that leg will extend, and that right leg will extend, the left foot will press down, spinning us off of our mat the other direction. Forehead on your hands, and a couple of just lifts of the leg, and just try to pay attention, reflective movement. If you just instruct your body to lift that leg, it's barely even a thought, right? It's like a 0.1 ounce of thinking that it takes to do that. Why do we bring so much effort to thinking when it really requires so little effort? Good, and then pausing there. We'll reach back for our left leg this time. The right arm will extend in front. Fingertips can be nice here, like a tent. Kick back through that left leg as you pull the leg. Fingertips continue pressing through the floor. And you'll feel the body, the back starting to work and engage. And just be a part of this movement. If you can breathe, if you can feel your breath right now, just let the body start to put all this together. The breath, the work that you're doing in your back, the length you're bringing to the front. The mind can relax and just really observe. Slowly release the leg. Just take your time. Be there for it. Find the mat again. Hands under. Shoulders. Press yourself back to a little counter pose in Bhaktasana. Reaching hands. Little rounding in the back. Kick through your shins. Round your spine. And then keep that rounding going as your heart comes through the arms. Keep those knees on the floor and just peel the heart open through the shoulders. And then pull the abdominals in to send your body back. You can tuck those toes under, elevate the hips for a moment. Turn your head side to side. So we've done a lot of tiger walks in the class already, so you might be ready for a little bit more advanced bear walk. Advanced because it's just sort of more, there's just more of you off of the floor, less support. And so same idea, opposite foot and hand. Opposite foot and hand. And you can try walking around the room. If you want a little bit more workout, you bend into your walk. But you're just doing the opposite. You can try it backwards. And then of course we'll walk back to our mat. Dropping the knees down, bowing back to Bhaktasana for a moment, flexing those wrists in. Kicking down through the shins, pawing at the mat, rounding yourself up, take a big scoop up. And then pulling the hands back down to the heart. You're welcome to sit on the heels for a moment and just reflect here. Draw that awareness in. So we'll move through those same motions a little bit quicker this time. Let your body, sort of move at a more natural rhythm, because we've already done them once. And so you'll get to feel that. We'll add in a little bit more work standing, and then we'll come back to the floor. So starting once more on our hands. Go ahead and tuck those toes under. Hover the knees. A couple of easy tiger paws. And back down. This time the right arm and the left leg will reach apart. We'll draw that diagonal line, touching elbow and knee. Go ahead and keep those arm and leg reaching out. Bring the hand under the shoulder. Drop the foot behind you. Peel open the heart. Option to bring that bottom leg and cross it behind the opposite leg for a little bit more challenging side plank. Go ahead and work with your gaze. You can gaze up or down, or just move your neck through that range of motion. Bring that knee back underneath you, turning back towards the floor, and then drawing the leg out to the side. Foot turns out. Take a deep breath in. We're still reflecting. Inhale, draw that nice big circle and let yourself reach over. One more time. Find your breath. Feel the movement as it's happening. Slowly down. Good. That left leg comes out front. Back toes tuck under. Scoop the air up with your right arm yet again. Couple of scoops, and just notice if you're naturally reaching a little bit further back without even trying. You might even be grazing the heel and didn't realize it. Your next one, you're welcome to reach back and actually bend the knee and grab onto the shin. Good, and just try to find a balancing focal point. Draw your awareness into the heart. Feel the body almost like it's a sphere around you. Option, you can actually bring that left arm up, and we're mirroring what we'll be doing in just a moment with Nattarajasana. All right, from there, the hand can come back down to the floor. Back leg can release. Draw the back foot in just a little bit closer to you. This is super fun, okay? Little bend in the knee, and then see if you can balance in that position. Then reach up, straightening the legs, and we'll come into a little something I've been calling lately the Schwarzenegger. I know, it's hilarious. And then come back up. And so it's this sort of gladiator twist to the side. And it is sort of fun to flex the muscles, because just getting those arms to engage and getting the body to just engage and then release. And then length and then contract, right? Concentric, eccentric, isometric. And so you can stay in your next gladiator twist. And then reach up, arms to T, and then find a focal point on the floor and slowly shift your weight into that front knee and let yourself just glide up to standing. Both feet find the mat. That left glute was doing a lot of work. Let's take a moment to practice our balance and give that left glute a little support. Bend into your right knee. stand over your right leg. Let the left heel float up. Cross that left ankle over right knee, arms to T. I know this could be challenging for balance. Feel free to grab a wall. Could be a lot more fun, right? If you have that wall. And then you're going to sink into the right knee. Flexing the left foot can protect the left knee. And then allow yourself to explore where the weight is in your foot. Allow yourself to explore rotations of the hips. Let this movement feel natural. And then slowly, attention is going to be in your foot. Feel the floor and push that floor away. And that's how you stand up, right? You push the floor away. Leg comes back to the floor. Shift weight onto that left leg. It's all supported, feeling super good now. The right leg goes straight back. And just for a moment, arms out to T. I know we look like we're in the ballet right now, and there's probably a reason for that, because this is a natural open stance and it feels really good. So from this natural open stance, feel the length you're bringing to the spine, the supported length. And from this T position arm, let the right arm reach back and find the right leg. Again, a wall can be helpful if you need it. Left knee bends a little for support. And just like we practiced on the floor, you're kicking back through the foot as you pull the foot, lifting, optional to lift that arm up. And just try to feel the body at work. Draw a breath in right now. Be a part of this. Don't be separate from this. Be a part of this. Feel what's happening. You're in it. Slowly bring that arm back to T. Good. And then slowly bring that leg back. And optional, we're going to just do a little cross, crunch, and then we're back. Cool. Arms to T. See if you can lower yourself all the way back to the mat. From there, press those hands through the mat, back to a plank position. Hover the knees just above the mat and push yourself back. Wag the tail a little bit. Wag the tail a little. And then we did these from Bhaktasana. We're going to do this one from this downward dog position. It's the same idea. You have a nice pouncy kind of downward dog with the knees bending. And then you tuck the tail and you send the back, you sort of round the back into the sky until you're in like a plank, a cat plank. And then option to lower the knees or keep them lifted into your upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And then the same thing as before, the abs pull in, the knees can drop at this point, sending you back to either Bhaktasana or downward dog. And then we'll all take one little breath in Bhaktasana, flexing those wrists in, rock a little bit side to side. Draw some circles with your wrists. You can stand up on your knees. Actually, they'll give you some more room. A couple of circles. We've got one more little set to go on our wrists. So let's give them a little love, a little shake out. All right, and last round through, we're going to go back through table, hands under the shoulders. And I'll go ahead and hover the knees and try a few opposite hand and foot, tiger paws on the mat. We'll lower the legs down. Left arm reaches out, right leg reaches back. Draw that diagonal line, elbow to knee. Just a couple of those here. Feel the length and then feel the contraction. Next time the length is there, you reach, reach, reach. We'll lower hand under shoulder, lower the back arm or the leg behind you. And then draw that right arm across the body. Feel the space there across the chest and hips. Option to bring the bottom leg and wrap it around. You can really feel your body working here. Knee comes back underneath us to support. We sweep right leg out to the side, bending the knee. Hands come down. Left arm sweeps up. Nice big circles here. And this last one, just be a part of that last circle. Let your body turn down towards the mat. Draw yourself back to the front. Right leg comes forward. Option to tuck those back toes under. Scoop the air up with your left arm. Let it float back. And just see where it's touching. Just see where it's touching. It's just grazing the leg. And the next time it goes back, option 2, bend the knee, grabbing the shin. You can stay right here, or you can even lift that right arm up and come back to your breath. What is your body working on right now? Where is your work in this posture? What's firing? How are you working with the floor? What is that front foot doing? What's that back leg doing? From here, we'll slowly release the back leg, finding the floor. Pause for a moment, come back to your breath. Scooting the back foot in just a hair. And I'll be facing away from you from this, but you know what to do. We're going to scoop up and lengthen up, but then we drop down into that gladiator twist. Reaching up, lengthening, light as a feather, and then strong as an ox. Here we go, a couple more times. And then all the way back up. This time the arms go out to T. Take your time, shift your weight a little bit, find a focal point, and then just try to slowly lengthen up on that standing right leg, drawing the left leg underneath you, and then the weight on both feet. We're going to give a little love to that right glute here before we stand on that leg anymore. Shift weight to left leg, focal point in front. Draw the reflective breath in. Balance poses are a great opportunity to focus more on awareness. A lot of the time, what's missing in our balance poses is not muscular control, but control of our breath and control of our mind. And so, see if you can keep your eyes on a focal point for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then from there, keep your eyes on that point. Bring ankle to knee, and then you're going to sit back into your standing figure 4. Like before, the wall can always be a nice option. Drawing some circles with your hips. Those little hip circles can really help get you into the whole joint. Bring your attention to the foot that's on the floor. You press down through that foot. That's how you stand up. Everything follows it. Other foot comes to the mat. Shift weight into that right foot. Reach back to your left leg just a little bit. Arms come out to T. And take a breath here. Just really be in this stance. You've actually earned this moment that you can stand like this, in this open stance, with just minimal support from the floor and feel really good. Your next breath in, just find a little bit more length. Find the floor under the foot, feel where the weight is, ungrip the toes, and then reaching back for ankle or shin. Arm can stay at T for balance, or it can reach slightly up to a V or to the ear. And wherever you're at, you're exploring the kick back through the foot, the pull on the foot, and the lift in the heart. And just putting the body into one unanimous experience. Feel as you kick through that foot and pull the foot, the body works together. And to do that, breathe into your heart one more time. Slowly drawing that foot in. Arms come back out to T, so you can keep your balance as you reach back, dropping hands to mat, planting those hands under shoulders, back to plank. Drop knees just above the mat, and then push yourself back to a bent leg downward dog. Wag your tail. From here, draw the abs in, rounding the spine up, plank, but with a cat back, and then let the heart draw through the arms. Option to support the knees on the floor or let them hover. Abs pull you back in, back to Bhaktasana. And just paw at the mat here like a cat in Bhaktasana. And then let yourself relax. Draw the mat toward you with your hands, rounding up as you sit on your heels for just a moment. Roll your shoulders back. A slight smile just for you. Standing up on your knees, roll the shoulders a couple more times, get out any kinks here, let the arms follow, shake out. And then let's find a comfortable way to sit for some breathing practice and meditation. So it might mean blankets or cushion, a chair, blocks, whatever works for you. Take a minute to do that right now. Good girl. Good girl. Lay down. Lay down. Lay. If you got a little furry friend in the room, like I do, good for you. This is Malasada. She's Yasham dog. She always seems to show up when we're about to meditate. I think that's a good sign. So, throughout class today, we've been cultivating awareness before our movements and during them. This is going to pay off. The reason we work so hard like that in our yoga class is because it allows you to have a more successful experience meditating. So hopefully your physical body has found a seat that feels suitable and really helpful for you. Go ahead and move your spine a little bit. That's a good indicator. Can your spine move? Can your shoulders move? If they can move freely, then you're probably in a pretty good seat. Let yourself settle to center. And for this one, this is going to be one of our more subtle pranayama practices. And it's called Puraka and Rechaka. And it refers to just simply being able to watch the inhale and the exhale in a natural way. This will segue to our meditation practice. And so, Puraka is the inhale. We're going to start with that. So go ahead and just start to breathe in slowly through the nose. And then breathe out slowly through the nose, but let that exhale be pretty relaxed. I'm not worrying about that too much. So each inhale a little bit slower than normal. And the exhale natural. And as you're inhaling right now, notice, where do you physically feel the breath? The tip of the nose, the back of the throat, the sinuses. So as you inhale right now, where do you notice the breath? The tip of the nose, the back of the throat, the sinuses, the chest, maybe the belly, the ribs. Where do you physically feel it? And going just a little bit further, what does this experience of inhaling feel like? As you inhale, you're not just inhaling oxygen, there's an entire experience occurring. What does it feel like to breathe in? Traditionally, it's described almost like breathing in sunlight, like as if you were sitting in the sun, how you could feel the energy coming in from all directions, described as prana. And now let's slow down our exhale. Make that exhale a little bit slower than normal. Let the inhale be natural. Now this slower exhale, where do you physically feel that in your body? Do you notice the exhale in the compression, the hugging in of the chest or the ribs or the belly? Do you notice the exhale in the nose like you noticed it with the inhale? It's actually harder to feel because it's your same body temperature. And then just one more moment here with the exhale. What does it feel like? What's the experience like? What does it feel like to exhale? Does it feel like releasing, letting go? You might even say it feels like surrender. This deep internal release. And from this moment now, we can gently lengthen both our inhale and our exhale. Just the slightest bit of effort. And with this slightly lengthened breath, we can really start to be present for the entire experience of breathing. Like bringing extra presence before a movement. This presence you bring to the beginning of the breath will sustain your awareness throughout the breath. Each time you begin the inhale, you have all that awareness, and then as you're filling, you retain that awareness. As you begin to exhale, all of your awareness is there, and then you keep that awareness as you continue to exhale. At the beginning of each breath, there is a generous portion of awareness. And we just try to retain that awareness as the breath either fills us or empties us. Notice if you can sustain your awareness all the way to the end of each breath. Now that your awareness is a little bit more consistent, you can use less and less effort to direct your breath. Approach this lessening of effort slowly. Just use a little less effort than you were before. Let the breath move a little more naturally. You're still using some effort, but you're feeling the breath more. practice can gently guide you to the experience of watching your breath. Watching your breath is actually a very profound experience that is the result of pauseless effort. Focusing on each breath flow over and over and over. Until it feels as though you're just watching your breath happen. If the breath slows down a lot, let it. If the pause between the breath lasts a little longer, let it. Use less and less effort until you find yourself arriving at a point of true observation, witness, watching your breath. From this space, try to keep your focus in the heart as you invite small movements of your spine. And then reversing the movement. Some organic movement through the shoulders, allowing the neck and head to follow. Notice the quality of your motion, the fluidity of your joints, and let yourself fall back to center. Allow the eyes to open a little bit, keep your gaze low. Bring the hands to the heart and just feel that connection of the hands at the center of the heart. That's something that we can do throughout the day. You don't necessarily have to bring your hands to the heart throughout the day, but just even a little touch right here at the heart, drawing that breath in, taking that one moment of reflection, and then trying to keep that awareness going throughout our movement. So hopefully this class today has given you a glimpse of what's possible for you in your practice. Feel free to repeat this class in order to continue to come back to what's possible, and hope to one day see you in person here at Konalani Yoga Ashram, the big island of Hawaii, for yoga or meditation teacher training. Namaste.